So welcome back to the AM show. It's now time to look at stories making headlines, and we have a couple of the newspapers here.
Before we get to the newspapers, I thought I'd enjoyed the festivities, you know, with a lot of lights. But I had some visitors last night. They in fact, they paid the courtesy call on me on Friday, then on Saturday, then on Sunday, and then on Monday. Why would you do that to me, ECG? Anyway,
I told you.
I'm telling you. So I thought that later I was analyzing it and I realized the courtesy call was, oh, welcome back from the commercial break. Anyway, doing the newspapers now.
Let's go straight to the Ghanaian Times this morning, where we have that Nayeli faces court today. Nayeli faces court today. You can see the lady in question, Nayeli, up there. And then you can also see top Kumasi robber nabbed. It's all in the Ghanaian Times this morning. We'll be discussing those issues. But like we spoke about yesterday, we were told that maybe she would change her plea to not guilty. But my worry is that speaking with one of the lawyers, he said that when she changes her plea to not guilty, if she changes, if she maintains that she is guilty, and the whole thing, she's likely to serve. She's likely to serve a 10-year sentence. But if she changes to not guilty, and then during the trial she's found guilty, then it means she'll go in for more years. True. I think that which one will she choose? But really, what do you think would prompt someone who has already pled guilty to say that, no, you know what, I want to change my plea? Well, a whole lot in SMP. So wait till we hear from her this morning. I think we also have 15 illegal lotto operators arrested, and GNFS to probe causes of fire. Yes, I think they really need to probe those fires, because it's I mean, with the start of the year, how many have we recorded? I think about so 5 or so, 4 or 5. And today is the 6th. Does it mean that each other day we record? Yeah, so we are hoping for one today. Yes, that's the case. Don't want to go back really to the 2013 where we had a lot of
many fires.
Yeah, we don't want to go back to that. I think 2014 was quite better. So if anything, 2015 should be best. And so I think it's a good cause.
I see. Okay, let's do. But again, I think it shouldn't be just about the talk. Sometimes we need to walk the talk, you know, because this was said at a press conference. You are told they did yesterday. I mean, for the press conferences, you always organize them and you talk and talk and talk. Please do something much more than the talk, because these are human lives and human property at stake. Anyway, let's do the Daily Graphic now, and the front page also has a picture of a gentleman here. Says Kumasi police arrest suspected notorious robber. Over there, I'm sure you can see the picture of that robber. It talks about Kumasi police arresting him. We are told there were actually 2, but one managed to abscond. Apparently, this is the more troublesome one. Anytime they are caught as a gang, he finds a way to disappear some way, somehow. This time around, he was caught and his colleague disappeared. The irony of the situation, anyway. Also on the front page of the Daily Graphic is customer drags MTN to court over alleged deceitful text message. So I think it's high time we started putting some of these telcos on their toes. So apparently the customer says he received a text message claiming that he had won one of their competitions, one of their promotions and everything. That was even after the promotion had ended. Wow. Okay, so he says he suffered some emotional trauma and blah, blah, blah because of that. So they will be battling it out in court. Indeed, he's seeking some damages there. And again, 476 vehicles impounded in Accra. Very, very serious story there. 476. And you know, it's about these DV number plates and DP and all. We're told quite a number of them. I think the DVLA is doing wonderful, and I'm hoping that in 2015 we'll see more of them, because if you look at the initiatives, it's very laudable. For instance, the seat belts initiative that all commercial vehicles should have seat belts, because most of the accidents and most of the deaths that is recorded on our roads, it's because people are not in seat belts. Sometimes it helps a lot. So for me, it's one of the
initiatives that I really applaud the DVLA.
But looking at that particular directive, that initiative, as to how effective it will be and how feasible it will be,
pray
because
they're able to sustain
I was there one
it.
time. I did a story there one time, and there were some buses there who were trying to register. They'd been asked to go and install the seat belts. Some had done it, and I went in, and even the discomfort alone. I mean, you know, for these urban buses, you have 4 on the seat or so. So you can just imagine, look at how small the seats are. So assuming you are like me, fine, maybe I can fit into 1 seat. But if you have 3 people like Aisha, in 3 folds sitting next to you. I mean,
if you won't fit in 1 seat, buy 2 seats.
You know, okay. Then there's something also here about Zoomlion to turn trash into cash. That's about the compost plants. They said they're going to replicate a few more.
It's good news to turn trash into cash.
Indeed. But there's so much dirt in the cup. I don't know why there's so much dirt in Ghana.
And, you know, one of the biggest challenges we face is how to dispose plastics. Yeah. That has been our biggest challenge. So if they can turn that into cash,
let me comment Zoomlion. When I went to Kumasi for the NDC Congress, I was really amazed at the rate at which work was being done. Even when people were littering, they were sweeping. You know, at regular intervals. I was really impressed with the kind of sanitation.
But is it always like that? I don't think so, because I go to Kumasi often, and I don't really see that. I'm sure maybe because there was a
program like that.
And they were envisaging a bigger crowd. That's why they were just on the spot. But that's not to say Zoomlion is not doing a good job. They're doing very wonderful, but I think maybe they can step up.
I see. So to the back page of the Daily Graphic now, and there's a picture of Honorable Inusa Fuseni, who happens to be the Roads and Transport Minister, in the company of some directors of the Ministry and the Roads and Highways. There you can see them. Okay. Well, I think I need to use this camera rather. Okay. So you can see them there. They went to inspect the quote-unquote cracks that had been developed at the underpass of the West Bridge.
I got scared when I heard that there were cracks in the underpass, because we all patronize the West Hill Mall. You know, Ghanaians, when we see
at the Fufra,
we'll be there. You get to a point, they will be surprised that nobody will pass there.
Remember the Accra Mall when it was commissioned? I mean, even when you have a date, the lady says, "Oh, you're going to
Accra Mall," you know. And so I was a bit scared, but now that the minister has come out to because he went for an inspection, we were with him.
We went around the entire
there's no cracks, and that there's just waves. He said that's what he said. Waves.
Yeah, there are carbon shipments or so that are left on the.
So there's nothing to fear about, and the director himself has come to confirm that.
Yeah, that's the resident engineer.
People can still go and have their fun.
So please feel free to go shop anywhere you want to, particularly if it's the West Hills Mall you want to pass by. Feel free to go there. So it's safe.
The Daily Guide this morning talks about the lady in question, Nayele. Ruby grabbed with $64,000. Appears in court today, and Abodam on medical leave. Wow.
What does
NDC
mean?
Chairman Boyd nabbed for robbery. Whoa. Interesting. Abodam's issue is quite pathetic, because if you see his picture, he's gotten his
well, you're told he's on medical leave. What does that mean? Medical leave.
Yeah, yesterday when they went to court, I hear his lawyer pleaded that they cannot continue with his case now because he's not well. And so the case was adjourned.
I see.
You know, so probably that's why he's on leave for medical treatment, because he doesn't look healthy. If you look at the picture here, he's taking off his dreads. That should make him a handsome boy.
I see.
But you can still tell that he's not healthy.
That's why a lot more people come back from the prisons reformed. Apparently, I don't know what goes in there, but some way, somehow, when you enter, just even for two hours and come back, I'm sure you'll be a reformed person.
But others also come back hardened.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a mixed, mixed kind of thing.
To the story you mentioned earlier about the
NDC chairman boy nap.
There's also another story on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper. It says police smoke out NDC aide, and I don't know why they're always twisted to the same story.
What is
it's actually the same story here on the front page of the Daily Graphic, which says
it says that the Ashanti Regional Police Command has arrested Abdullahi Hussein, aka Mijima, who is believed to be the errand boy of Yao Obimpe, the Ashanti Regional National Democratic Congress chairman, for robbery. Mijima and his cohorts, most of whom had been arrested and sentenced to various jail terms already, were linked to a series of high-profile car snatching incidents in the city. But strangely, he always escaped arrest. He was said to have been arrested by the police in connection with a broad daylight bank robbery at a Jisu sometime last year. But Obimpe allegedly intervened to get him freed, arguing that his boy was not a criminal.
Wow.
Bam.
That's a bluff for you, bam. But the worrying thing, the worrying part of this particular story is the fact that he was arrested, and after his arrest, it was found out that he was in a possession of a submachine gun as well as 17 rounds of ammunition.
Wow.
That's the worrying part.
And we're told that the NDC chairman intervened a couple of times to get him out.
Per the newspaper's report. That's Daily Guide, and this is also the Chronicle newspaper.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Probably the chairman knew, because sometimes it may be with someone and you don't know what they do during their leisure time. So, well. But if he,
in fact, even how well do you even know your kids? If your parents, how much more someone you work with? You know, but anyway,
it's some way. I can't even comment because I'm a bit baffled to hear this kind of news. So I think
you've done a lot of sports already, though. But I think we should still chip in a couple more. Stars in Spain for AFCON camp. That's over there.
We wish them well, but I always say, and I always remind that we don't want to see airlifting of any money. We don't want any misbehavior in the camp. We want them to be disciplined.
For the misbehavior bit, Asamoah is saying they are mentally ready for AFCON.
Okay.
So
we're also mentally ready to support them. Anyway. But when all those things come, we'll bash them. We won't forgive them. So.
And Ajimambedu is also praying for an injury-free team. You know. Regardless of the number of players you have, how good your players are, if you're struck by a number of injuries.
Have you seen this beautiful...
Oh, of His Excellency and Her Excellency.
The #1 couple.
I see.
Very beautiful, colorful Lodina.
Okay.
And her husband, the President, Mahamas. And what are they saying? Free... a prosperous Ghana is possible. Our challenges are temporary. We shall emerge victorious, and God shall guide our steps to prosperity. Amen. Amen to that. And then we also have the free zones companies invest 3.5 billion in our economy. So our president is promising us that our problems are temporary.
So we are told by a number of analysts and experts also.
I think we've waited for too long, isn't it? Or
we are still waiting.
We should still wait.
Christ said he's coming. He'll be coming soon. We are still waiting, you know. So don't be too worried about that.
Still hope and see. Maybe there's hope at the end of the tunnel. I'm hopeful.
You know, a lot of things can change in a year. You know, a lot of things can change in a year.
I'm hopeful that a lot of things can change. And at the back page, decision to camp in Spain is the best. Avram Grant, that's the Black Stars coach.
I think you did that story.
And minimum ban for doping increased from 2 years to 4.
Yeah.
Those are the
I think it's high time we actually increase that particular ban, because I don't see why someone should train so hard to do something and you just go for some 1 or 2 drugs and you use it to win so many laurels. The big story on the front page of the Finder newspaper talks of Snit fighting HFC board. There, Snit fights HFC board.
For what reason?
I can't tell, but what we are told now, you know, Snit has acquired some 26% stake in HFC Bank. So we are told the decision is to actually have one of their own represent them on the board, chair the board. So 2 people there, the board chairman and 1 other person. They are told things have come up and they want to find ways and means of getting them off the seat and off the board so that representatives of Snit will actually take over. So as to how this will pan out, I'm sure in the subsequent bulletins or in subsequent days would find out. But one big one here says 103 fire outbreaks in 4 days. And he has a picture of Prince Billy Anaglate. He's a PRO of the Ghana National Fire Service. 103 fire outbreaks. I don't know where this figure is coming from or why such an alarming number there. I don't know.
Can we look at the story?
Okay, it talks about the story being on page 2. Maybe I could... okay, let me try and find one or two. Okay,
103 fire outbreaks in 4 days.
Let me just give you maybe 2 paragraphs of the story, then you can grab a copy of the newspaper and read the full text for yourself. So just 4 days into the year 2015, the Ghana National Fire Service has recorded as many as 103 fire outbreaks nationwide from January 1 to 4. Now the outbreaks, which happened in the wee days of the new year, have been largely blamed on the Harmattan season and negligence on the part of individuals towards fire safety. Okay, so the Greater Accra region recorded 31 fire outbreaks, Ashanti 41, Central 10, Brong-Ahafo 5, and Western 4. Wow.
In 2015?
Yeah.
My goodness. This
so
is
what we even saw or heard, I don't know. So apparently there are many more.
Many more, because we were talking
more.
About 5 fires in 6 days.
31
5
in the Greater Accra region alone.
103 in the whole country. Yeah. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think then it means that the Ghana National Fire Service should not relax at all.
I'm thinking that's why they actually held that press conference to let people know that it's the Harmattan season, the dry season, the slightest thing, and fire can cause a bit of a problem.
Taken proactive, they should have done their education. You know, before this time, and waking up this time after 103 fires. I think that is not the best, but still they can do better.
They can still do more.
They can do something and ensure that we don't have more. So we protect the rest. Isn't it?
Anyway.
Okay, so
before that, just a quick one. It says major crimes in Accra down by 25.1% in 2014. So crimes in the capital, we are told, has actually reduced by some 25.1%. As to whether it's...
But is it their own record, or is something we're saying? Well,
yeah, that is what I wanted.
And you know that most of the crimes too are not reported. Yeah. And so if they only look at the records they have, sometimes
maybe overlooking quite a number of other serious cases.
A lot of them are not reported. That is why we encourage people to report, even if somebody there's an armed robbery case or a theft case or anything like that, and you feel that your things are gone but you don't want them back, you just report the case so that the police can have a record, so that they can plan and strategize with those kind of data.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I think it helps. On the Today newspaper, we're told that youth chase MP. Oh, and I have one of my sweetest MP's picture there. I don't want to believe that she's the one that was chased over unfulfilled promises.
Chasing them, chasing them to fulfill their promises.
Threatens more strikes. Hey, danger.
So that means more court sittings for us.
If GMA goes on strike, you know, it's very.
But I thought they were part of those who make up the essential services component. So as to why, by law, they are not mandated to actually embark on strike actions.
Well,
so why they are threatening strike actions?
You know, the Constitution has provisions, clauses, and articles. So probably they've read their clauses and articles well. That is why they want to go more on the strike.
Well, maybe the only leeway they may have will be with the Labour Act, and even with that, it's still not explicit on whether or not people who provide essential services to the country can actually go on strike.
So let's see how it goes for them. Maybe government will take them to court again, and an injunction will be placed on their strike.
An injunction has been placed. I don't know how far with that particular one.
They are part of
the 12 labour unions.
The 12 labour unions, and so they have an injunction not to go on strike.
What's become of that particular story? We were told they were going to appeal.
Yeah, I'm sure probably because of the holidays, they relaxed a bit. Now that we're back from the holidays, we'll hear more of them, and that is why they are giving you a signal
that they'll be going for more strikes. Aluta continua.
You know,
government, when you promise deliver.
I think that with labor issues, I think government needs to set up in dealing with those issues. Yes, we don't want to see you know, people going on strike or public workers going on strike anyhow. But I think there's a better way that we can resolve those issues. If there's agitation and government sits them down and talk to them, I mean, the issue can be solved amicably even before it gets to that point. I think that strikes and those demonstrations should be, they are last resort.
Indeed.
And so it is when everything doesn't work, all the strategies doesn't work, that is when and you see more of that. So what has become the dialogue?
We are told they've actually been meeting.
For me,
the Labour Minister says he's been meeting with them and he's been speaking to them.
They're blaming the Labour Commission for not doing much to support them. It's like the Labour Commission doesn't really have time for them, and so sometimes they have no option.
But I thought the Labour Commission was to actually represent the interest of these workers.
Exactly, but they apparently they're not seeing much of the Labour. So maybe in 2015 they should set up and we don't want to see this kind of Labour.
We don't want 2015 to be a year of strikes.
They are very risky security-wise. So I think government should
even productivity, the effect it actually has on productivity is
so
quite telling anyway.
I'm interested in the youth chase MP over unfulfilled promises. It says scores of youth in New Iburim in the Birim North District of the Eastern Region are seething with anger over what they have described as failed and empty promises made by the Member of Parliament for the area, Mrs. Esther Obendapa. According to the angry youth, Mrs. Obendapa since 2004 promised the constituents that her outfit will ensure that the New Iburim Kede, New Iburim Achimoda, and New Iburim Koko roads will be constructed. They recounted that the New Iburim legislator also promised to build information communication technology centers at New Iburim and its adjoining towns and work hard to enhance economic activities in the constituency.
Wow.
Well, I understand her plight. Even yesterday, I was speaking with one member of parliament, and you see, his worry is the fact that you come to parliament with a vision. You come to parliament with a mission that this is what you want to accomplish at the end of probably your 4-year term or something. But there are lots of frustrations in parliament. And
but could it be possibly because many are ignorant of really what goes on in parliament? So as they campaign, they keep making promises. You know what? I'll bring you this. I'll bring you water. I'll bring you this. I'll build this for you.
Issue.
So they get in there and they realize
looking for votes. So they forget themselves that listen. Or sometimes because they haven't been there before, they don't really know the frustration, so they think it's that easy, you know. And so sometimes when you speak with them off record, they tell you the frustrations they feel, and sometimes you feel for them, you understand. So I think that the youth should take it easy on her, because this is one of my best MPs. I think
Esther Obendapa, and the new Prime Minister is also
calm and calculated, but I think she's fine.
Anyway,
she's fine, and she understands the apply. They should take it easy on her. I believe she will deliver.
So those are the major headlines on the front pages of the newspapers. We just reviewed them. You could get to a newsstand, grab some copies, and read the full text if you want to be updated. Up next is AM Talk.
AM Talk.
AM Talk with
Aisha
Ibrahim.
Shortly.